I don't know what the ceiling is on this Oregon team. I think they're capable of playing with anybody in the country, and I think they've shown you that they can lay some eggs and have some duds as well. Northwestern first half, this game, I think there's just a baked-in variance with incredibly young teams that are going through this for the first time. And there's a lot of key guys in key positions that are freshmen or sophomores or redshirt freshmen that there's just going to be highs and there's going to be lows throughout the course of the season. And as long as you continue to win, that's all that matters. The last month that they have is incredibly challenging, but it's not like everybody who is in a starting key position for you has been doing this for 3 to 4 years and they know what they got to bring every week. There's highs and lows with young teams, and I think you're going through that right now.
So I want to ask you about Dante. He got knocked out of this game. Sounds like it wasn't as bad as it looked. His nose was gushing blood, but Lanning in the postgame said he's fine. We saw him on the sidelines, no helmet. He seemed fine. They just chose to keep Brock Thomas in, and they were saying, we're going to hand the ball off most of the time. Brock Thomas attempted 4 passes.
Yes.
So, they won the game without wanting to throw the football. Maybe he falls into the category you just mentioned here, but, is there any level of concern? Because what we have to react to, and I know Rutgers just happened, but the Indiana game and then this one where some of those sacks or some of that pressure, it kind of felt like was more on him.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Also, I thought Wisconsin did an exceptional job of pass rush and applying that pressure. And the minute he gets it, I think the takeaway I have is if you can get close to him, he starts to question everything and sometimes makes poor decisions or bad throws.
I'll agree with that, yeah.
So I'm kind of curious where you're at on Dante, because I think coming out of the Penn State game, we know where Lanning and everybody was. That's the best college football quarterback there is. And again, Rutgers did happen, so I'm not taking it away. But Indiana now, and then this, he got knocked out pretty early. But I'm just curious where you're at with Dante.
Yeah, the nose thing I think will be fine. I wouldn't be surprised if he broke his nose. Maybe that was pretty gnarly. The forearm to the nose through the face mask. And I just think they were considering Wisconsin's not going to score. The weather's terrible. Why would we put him back out there? What's the point, right? So that stuff's not a big deal to me. I think it's totally fair to question Dante in moments when teams can get pressure on him. And I think they, as an offense, are one that is incredibly reliant upon a fast start, momentum, kind of getting into a groove. When they've done that this year, you see how explosive they can be throughout the course of the game. And when you don't, it takes them a while to kind of get going. It takes them a while to find their groove. But then I'll point to the fact that they had negative 16 yards at the end of the first quarter rushing and ended the game with over 200. So it took them a while, but they eventually found it. I think they outgained Wisconsin in the third quarter 170-15. So the game started to flip the way that we thought it would. It just took them a while to get going. He's got to start clean, and they got to start clean as an offense just to kind of get his confidence rolling. And whatever it is that rattles his confidence or gets him questioning things, they got to try and decipher that. The last month of their schedule is going to be incredibly challenging, starting with Iowa. Did people see what Iowa did this weekend?
Yeah, that Iowa game, suddenly I poo-pooed it.
Dude,
I'll take it back.
Smoked Minnesota this weekend.
They did. They had the big rivalry game, too. They have a trophy for that thing.
There's a pig that goes on there, I think.
But yeah, that was a game that Duck fan, I think, already without seeing this game was like, hey, man, it's at Iowa.
Could be an early start time. We don't know the kick time yet.
We'll see if it's the big nooner, but hey, it's at Iowa. Iowa's always a tough team, right? Say what you want about the offense. They're always tough. Iowa may have taken a step this year with their offense. Yep. Jokes, I know, all aside, but that suddenly doesn't look as easy. And then, USC doesn't win games on the road, but they're still coming to town. That's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
And at Washington, the Huskies seem to be we're at home. We're a different team than we are. Yeah. We go on the road a little bit. So I think to your point, you look at that schedule and you just wonder with Dante where it feels like when they get those fast starts, he's almost like a Duck fan. Here we go, baby!
Touchdown, 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 touchdown.
But when it's downs, punt, 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 he starts to maybe feel exactly what's going on here. He starts to kind of question things. I think there's just a thing with him that my takeaway is when you're getting that pressure, and this happens for a lot of quarterbacks, but with him specifically, he hesitates on. I've seen him kind of do the double. He
had one in this game. To be fair to him, the ball slipped out of his hand. Yeah. But he's kind of questioning what he's seeing.
He wants to throw it. He holds it. He throws it again, and then I don't know. He seems a little easily rattled if you can get that pressure to him.
I think the good thing for Oregon fan is that the Iowa game, in my opinion, will tell us how the rest of the season is going to go. Iowa, to me, defensively, what they can do to you is more than what USC can do to you. And I know Washington's offense is playing at a high level right now. I'm not very fearful of their defense, and we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. If you lose to Iowa, anything's open. Anything's open the rest of the way. If you come out and you handle your business there and you look good in that game, I know they're challenged offensively, But one of the biggest problems that Oregon's offense is having right now with these defenses have kind of schemed up some of their early runs, that have schemed up some ways to confuse Dante Moore, and Wisconsin and Indiana have both been able to do it. And Iowa's going to take from that playbook, and they're one of the best defenses in the country because they're always one of the best defenses in the country. So the good news for Oregon fans is I think in 2 weeks you're going to find out how the rest of your season is going to go.
Here is Dan Lanning in the postgame. His thoughts on his team's 21-7 win over Wisconsin.
It became really apparent early in this game what kind of game it was going to be, and we had to figure out a way that we could run the ball effectively. I think after that 99-yard drive, we really saw that, our guys take that by the horns and find a way to be able to attack. That's a good defense when it comes to trying to rush the ball against them. It's really difficult, and this became that kind of game. We had some really unselfish play from our players. I thought they were engaged the entire game, and it was really clear that it's going to be hard to be able to throw in some of those conditions. Saw some guys step up when their number was called. I know Dante got dinged. Think he's going to be in great shape. Was probably in position that he could have gone in, but for Brock to come in and perform the way he did, really excited, for him to be able to do that. I know the players were really proud of him to start so poorly on third down offensively and then turn around and finish so strong in the second half, taking advantage of third down opportunities was big. And then defense, played lights out today. They did a really good job of controlling, Wisconsin, excluding that last score by them. I thought we had some dynamic plays in special teams and certainly some stuff we got to clean up. So the 9 penalties is troublesome. We got to be better there. And there were some penalties on some big plays that could have been difference makers for us. But outside of that, I'm proud of how our players played in a tough environment.
Yeah, I think that was the other part that I didn't hit on that I had in my notes was just how undisciplined they look, having 9 penalties. They had more false starts than Wisconsin. You're at home. That stuff's got to drive Dan Lanning crazy. Yep. One listener says at 503-864-6326, I saw Dante at a promotional event yesterday. No visible effects of a broken nose. He's doing fine. He was doing an organized event, meet and greet, taking photos. Yeah, I don't think there was a broken nose. His nose had nothing on it or in it on the sidelines. I'm just going to ask you a stupid question.
Fire away.
Because we're radio hosts and most people think we're stupid anyway.
Sure.
Which they're not wrong. If that's a similar offensive performance at Iowa off the bye, would it stun you to see Brock Thomas randomly go in there? I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, that would be pretty stunning to me. Yeah.
Well, because he's the backup now.
It's a fun story. Don't get me wrong. It's, they carried him into the locker room after the game. He got the full-on Rudy by his teammates.
He did, according to Lanning. Now, this is interesting. So he talks about Brock Thomas, and he likes Brock Thomas a lot. He defends him. He says you should see him in practice. Crepia asks him, hey, Duck fans are kind of confused, which I'm like, I guess I'm not on the right live blogs of Duck fan. Because Duck fans in my life don't even bring this up as a topic. So I'm going to ask you, the Duck fan
it's an online cesspool, but every fan base is an online cesspool.
So we should ask questions based on just what 30 people
No,
online
I think it's a fair question.
Why is this a topic to people?
I don't know.
The coach likes Brock Thomas. Thomas was 4 for 4.
I think it's a question because in fall camp it was billed as a legitimate competition between him and Dante Moore and Austin Novosad. And they love Luke Moga. And early in the season when they relied on backups and blowouts, who did they put in? Moga and Novosad. Those are the guys that played early. And now for a number of weeks in a row it's been Brock Thomas. So I think people are just asking what happened? Why is Novosad or Moga not? Are they not doing something? Are they falling short? Have they stopped playing hard?
But it's not the first time Thomas has gone in a game.
It's not at all.
It's also week 9. Guys, move on. Why are we worried about this? Is this I actually?
It just means more, man. It just means more. We are freaking out online about a backup quarterback coming into games.
Who was 4 for 4.
Yeah. And then the camera, ironically, before they put in Brock Thomas, showed Austin Novosad warming
Brando
up.
Talked about
Everybody was like, here comes Novosad. And then they go to commercial and they come back and never mind, it's Brock Thomas.
I don't even think Brando addressed it. He said it's Novosad warming up. They went to commercial. He came back and Brock Thomas, and he's like, Brock Thomas back to throw.
He's from Sheldon High School, don't you know?
Well, I'm kind of with Lanning here. We didn't pull the cut,
there,
but he was asked again about Brock Thomas.
Guys, he went 4 for 4.
He goes, check the tape.
Threw a touchdown, come to practice, see how he's playing. That's the funny thing about playing time stuff is we all think as fans that we know more, but we're not there day in and day out. I have no clue what's happening. This is going on in the running back room right now as well, where people are very upset about rotations and guys are getting carries. And I'll just tell you, from my base level knowledge, it would be why is Hill not getting more carries, for example? It's because I think when they put him in, he's not an every down back to the way Davison is, where it's pretty obvious when he's in the backfield that he's getting the ball, and teams have kind of keyed on that because he's not as good at picking up blitzes. He's not as good at other things. He's not a good lead blocker.
Davison's bigger too.
Davison's bigger,
yeah.
and I think he's just right now he's playing at a higher level, so he's getting more carries, but he's also more versatile in what he can do on the field. And so I think they're finding creative ways to get Hill involved, but he's not ready to be an every down back yet as a true freshman.
Well, I think somebody brought up on the fan text line on the broadcast, and I know what they're talking about. You saw Novosad, by the gathering of Dante when he was hurt. Yeah, I rewatched it. You know who you see at the very end before they go to commercial? He was throwing with Brock Thomas. They just saw Novosad throwing.
They didn't see the other guy warming up
at the
with
very
him.
end. If you go and you still image it, there's Brock Thomas at the camera behind him, and you can see number 12 Thomas, and I'm like, oh. So they thought it was Novosad because he was more out in the front of it, but it was really Thomas warming up with Novosad.
I just love in the last 3 weeks we've gone from the sky is falling, everything's over to you idiots, why were you worried about Rutgers? Of course they were going to do that too. The sky's falling, everything's over again.
Well, I mean, welcome to college
It's
football,
been a
man.
snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap, baby.
At least you're not LSU.
That is true. We have not fired our head coach yet.